Top of the week of Zanzi, your perfect triangle just rolled up on your timeline to serve the realest trends and the most topical stories of the day. You're now watching TrendingSA right here on SABC3. I am Lute Love, King Lute to you. And to help you escape the norm, I have two lovely co-hosts. The award-winning satirist and exquisitely talented fave of mine, Lesego Tab.
Yay! Happy birthday for tomorrow. Oh my God, guys, it's her birthday, so I'm just saying it now because I will not be here.
Oh. Thank you, thank you. And of course, the shadiest emperor of them all, the emperor of Umlazi, my bless.
Thank you for coming through to share in this magnificence.
What is that?
It's me welcoming people.
Well, on that note, happy International Women's Day to women who are taking up space. Thank you for the quotable, Zozi. Yeah. We are breaking barriers, challenging societal norms, not you, Mable, and fighting for human rights and equality. This is sisterhood.
100%.
Now, speaking of sisterhood and excluding people, no, who do you guys think is the most influential woman in your life? I would love to hear on this International Women's Day who you want to give a shout out to.
You know who I'm really like shouting out to you right now for making a really dope comeback? Tanita Booty Girl, what it do? Yay! Congratulations, hitting up that drive time on that station after you left that other station, bring us broadcasting royalty. Super happy for you, super proud of you. Like, you are amazing, all the best. We can't wait to hear you rock the airwaves.
Oh, mine is my lovely grandmother, Mrs. A.S.R. Dele.
You're so
love her so much. This woman taught me how to set a table etiquette. She taught me how to make a bed. Like if I make a bed, that top sheet and everything, you need to at least bench press 150 to get in. She was amazing.
Like a hotel.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's my mommy.
Yeah,
I know, but like this lady, I'm here because of her. She gave me so many chances to mess up and try again. And she's the person who taught me independence and working hard for what you have.
You see, this is what happens.
And travel. You know, with this lady, you're going to see the world.
This is what happens when you get that Umlazi blood in you.
That's the thing.
That's what. See what the Umlazi thing. This is what you produce.
Thank you so much. It's time for Top Trends.
So hashtag Nkandla popped up on my timeline this past weekend after former COO of the SABC, Hlaudi, Mr. That Thing, Motsoaneng, paid a visit to the former President Jacob Zuma at his homestead in Nkandla. He is the latest of a growing list of political figures who have made a trip down to KZN to see the former president. And as you would have guessed it, Twitter streets were abuzz with reactions about this visit.
So we had @Dala_Mashasha saying Nkandla is where matters of national importance are discussed. It's the new Lutuli House and Union building combined.
I mean, it kind of looks like that.
We've got Nikki_KK2. Jacob Zuma should start a talk show called Tea and Nkandla. I would watch that.
I would
definitely watch
that. I would
definitely watch that.
Yeah.
And now everybody wants to know what exactly happens in the grand compound of Nkandla. Is there a glorious feast with music and dance? Is it the event to attend? But most importantly, how does one crack an invite to this gathering? Well, TSA has you covered. TSA's guide to cracking an invite to Nkandla.
Nkandla.
Kind of sounds like coconut cows. Nkandla. So if you're going to get an invite to Nkandla, you obviously need to be provocative. You know, you need to get the people going. You have to be someone like Ace Mahashule, a friend, a comrade, and obviously quite scandalous.
also that visual here, it's quite intense.
I like it.
It's really,
Looks like he's fighting.
100%. So how about Nomvula Mokonyane? I mean, they don't call her Mama Action for nothing. Bam.
Actually, and I love that she's the kind of lady that will bring some booze and some bribe packs as well. Remember that whole
100%.
I've got someone who's loved by others and loathed by others. Thuli Madonsela. She would spice things up there in Nkandla. You know, she would go there and then the former president will deny that she was there and then she will take out a recording, you know. That's how their relationship has been.
Shady.
Spice things up, but I can just say I like her braids. That's all.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow.
Anyway, let's move on. So once you have the controversial side of things, you obviously need to travel in style. Say maybe Kels's chopper or a fleet of cars like Julius. You need to make an entrance.
I am here for this entrance, honey. And you know what? You ain't got to be like me. You don't have to worry at all about style, okay? Just take a leaf out of Nkandla Masina's book and wear something rather comfortable.
That is disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's very disrespectful. This is a dinner party or a tea party. That is, come on.
I mean, it's not a high tea. It's just a tea.
This looks like high tea in the other side.
And of course, guys, people need to eat, right? So bring groceries like Ututumieni did, perhaps as a gift. I want to know, what would you guys bring as a gift if you went to Nkandla?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Cows, I guess. That's what he likes, isn't it? I don't know what else I'd bring. I mean, also a dictionary and a calculator, because I think...
Wow.
two things
I would
struggle.
actually bring a fire extinguisher so that we don't waste the water from the fire pool.
Hectic. All right. Okay, so we've been following this next story quite closely since disgraced DJ and entrepreneur Euphonic deliberately released his rape accuser's personal information online. And last week, #BelieveHer popped up on the timeline after a group of activists and celebrities picketed outside the Sunday World office. This comes after their journalist peddled lies and wrote an inaccurate article about a victim who is currently accusing DJ Fresh and Euphonic of rape.
SMH.
So GBV activist Kupeni was actually there as well. And then she explained Uguti why they were there.
Yeah.
And so what are we, you know?
Okay, cool.
So there were a lot of accusations that were made on that video, so we all saw it.
True, and we are now joined by a representative from Wise for Africa, Onica Makwakwa, to talk about the list of demands that they handed over to the Sunday World and how publication houses can help alleviate the scourge of GBV in the country. Hi, Onica. Thank you for joining us on Trending. So the publication has since issued a wordy apology since the protest that took place last week. So what did you make of this apology, and do you think it's enough to remedy any of the damage caused?
You know, it can never be enough, but it's a good start. We are, though, continuing to engage with them as well as with the press ombudsman, because it's really important that we get to the root of, you know, this rape culture in reporting of GBV news. So yes, it's okay. We accept the apology, but it's, you know, it doesn't end there. There needs to be better accountability.
Speaking of which, Onica, now that you've handed over the memorandum of demands to the publication, what is the ultimate outcome that you're hoping for? You know, and how would that become the benchmark to deal with other similar incidents perpetuated by media houses in the future?
You know, one of the things we said on Thursday is that Sunday World has an opportunity to really change the narrative and be an example for other media houses in terms of how we begin to approach GBV reporting. I think at the crux of this issue is re-victimizing those who come out, you know, the survivors who come out to report these incidents. Right. And therefore, they have an opportunity to engage with the matter, to look at our national strategic plan in terms of what it calls for in a victim-centered culture where, you know, we are not starting by not believing women. I think it's really important for us in dealing with these issues to start by believing women. Yeah. If we have a chance of changing this 60% underreporting of GBV, especially on sexual offenses. And, you know, Sunday World is a microcosm of our society. So how the media treats and doesn't believe women is actually an example, and also informs how society deals with victims when they do come up. And if we continue in this way, which victim would actually openly come out and state that they've been violated?
Thank you so much, Onica, for joining us. And now, after the break, independent political analyst Mighti Jamie weighs in on the public protector's findings on Fikile Mbalula's controversial 2016 Dubai trip. And later, you'll meet a leading creative force and cultural disruptor, LeloWhatsGood, who's taking his creativity to the next level. See you after this.
Welcome back to TSA on 3. Now, the much anticipated Coming to America sequel came out this past weekend, and it's safe to say that the transition of the Zamundan Empire, or lack thereof, is drawing mixed reviews from all corners of the social streets. Now, tweets have come out in numbers to congratulate the film on its multifaceted showcase of African fashion, music, and dance, with illuminating features from the likes of Maxhosa, Mikasa, and Percy Tau. But with that being said, it's also receiving a lot of backlash for some of the outdated tropes and depiction of African stereotypes.
Sure.
Sani Maxwell sparked an interesting conversation when she tweeted this. Why is Nomzamo putting on an African accent? Isn't she already African? Now, if you're confused as I am, what is this supposed African accent? Take a look.
And sequels to old movies nobody asked for.
This is true about sequels. If something is good, why ruin it?
So now, South African actress Nomzamo Mbatha's character Mirembe is receiving a lot of criticism for her African accent. What do you guys think?
If something is good, why
ruin it? I don't think Nomzamo should be taking the brunt of the criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a director's choice, it's a creator's choice. But I am tired of the trope of what happens when you watch Africans being represented on American movies. I just wish people would put more research and care into it, and that we'd just have things that actually reflect a little bit more of our reality, and not show us as unsophisticated or backwards or, I'm a bit tired of that.
I just think that, like, you know what, this is such a big moment for Nomzamo. It's such a big moment for Maxhosa, Hlaudi. It's such a big moment for, like, African richness, royalty, and us being, shown in a very beautiful, regal, whatever moment. I really think it's a big moment, and I understand the context of the accent if you think about the first movie. So I see where it's coming from, but like, it's a moment. Like, she's in Hollywood. It's just like
I know, and so even the thing is not even about her. That's what I'm saying. I think that it's all on her. It's just the stereotypes, the tropes. The jokes in the barbershop scene, for instance, I just think it's a bit played out. Oh, it's a bit outdated for 2021.
We need to ask ourselves, one, this is the question, what is an African accent? Because even in South Africa, I don't sound like somebody from Limpopo. Somebody from the Eastern Cape doesn't sound like me. Then you go all over the... So I'll start there. Also, this movie is set in Zamunda. It's set in Zamunda, which is a fictional place, and they have their accent that's happening over there. So Nomzamo can't come in there and go show Bafetu as if she's from KwaMashu, but she grew up in Zamunda.
Well, she could, because I think Black Panther did a bit of that. But also, the one thing is that, this accent is not specific to Zamunda. They use it every time they depict Africa in any way. Whether it's Johannesburg, whether it's the last king of Scotland, it's always put on.
Then what we need to do is that we need to interrogate those stories when we are making biographical picks. Like when we were making the last king of Scotland, then we go into this conversation. I think that this conversation is very misplaced right now when it comes to coming to America.
I disagree, but
I don't
have a mind.
I don't think we have enough time. I don't think we have enough time. But a real life story that's actually happening here in South Africa with our real life accent is our Minister of Transport, Ufikile Mbalula, is back on our timelines. This time, #Mbalula popped up after an investigation that was launched by the Office of the Public Protector in 2018 found that a trip he took to Dubai back in 2016 when he was still the Minister of Sports and Recreation was a direct conflict of interest, and it was financed in part by a company that was doing business with the sports governing body, SASCOC. Mbalula had initially denied these claims and said he would challenge these findings, which he has yet to do.
So once the scathing findings made their way onto social media, many people had a lot to say. In fact, the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula himself, responded to the PP's findings with this. He said, Mkhwebane is a hired gun, not the public protector.
Okay, so his response obviously had an avalanche of responses from tweets as usual. So Letswalo Bernard said, maintain respect in addressing issues, my leader. He seems to fail at that a little bit. Having said that, we can't protect the PP just because she's black. She lost way too many court cases for PP, and we can safely say she's incompetent. She must go for the credibility of that institution to be restored. And then Mpese Proud weighed in with this. Support your claim with evidence. Take us into your confidence. I want to give you the benefit of doubt. He just wants the secret. he wants to tell.
Well, joining us tonight to further unpack the story and give us insights into the public protector's findings into the investigation is political analyst, social commentator, and a friend of Tsar, Mighti Jamie. Welcome to the show, sir.
So, Jaimie.
Good evening, everyone, in my bad African accent.
I love it.
So, I would love to actually pick your brain about that the Zamunda thing, but we'll do that offline. Anyway, so what do you make of this, what's happening with Mbalula, and what are the implications of these findings for him?
Well, I mean, these findings have been out for a while now, and they came back into the public discourse because Carl Niehaus brought them up in an interview that he was doing with a platform called the Insight Factor. So Mbalula then got onto Twitter to then say, the public protector is not really, who she says she is. She's a hired gun or whatever he may have said. So I think it's important to note that these findings were made and no remedial action was actually mandated, because at the time when the findings were released, Fikile Mbalula was in between ministries. If you recall, he was sitting on the bench for a while. So the public protector at that time didn't make any findings, any remedial action requirements against him. But if he had wanted to have those findings overturned, he needed to take the process to a review. And as you correctly pointed out, it's been a long time since the findings came out and no review process has been entered into. What that effectively means is that those findings stand. And where Fikile Mbalula finds himself in a bit of a tricky situation is that now, as the process of trying to start a formal inquiry into the public protector is beginning to be discussed and needs to be voted upon, he's publicly speaking, but he's speaking from a position of somebody who is conflicted because a finding has been made against you. So when you then come onto the public platforms and say the public protector is this and she's that, you don't come across as an impartial actor because you have a finding against you. You're not neutral. And that muddies the waters and his argument broadly.
Sure. Jaimie, thank you so much. I wish we had more time. We have so much to unpack, but thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, Vogue Knights Jozi has become a cultural and experimental institution for femme bodies and queer identities in Jozi. And after the break, we get candid with the founder of this groundbreaking movement, LeloWhatsGood, and our Monday Motivation, brought to you in partnership with our BFFs at Vodacom. You do not want to miss that.
Should I begin my song?
Welcome back to Trending SA right here on SABC3. Now we have Lisiko about to give us a song.
I mean, my player tried to cut my sound, so I had to bring my own mic.
Guys, it's now time for Monday Motivation, brought to you by Vodacom Next Level.
Our guest tonight is LeloWhatsGood. He's a multi-dimensional visionary and an all-round creative, and also a Twitter BFF of mine that has infiltrated the SA alternative DJing scene. He is unapologetically black, queer creative who's dismantling and disrupting the African entertainment space with gender-bending music, intentional and barrier-breaking writing, and the inception of Vogue Knights Jozi, an exclusive movement for dance, music, and fashion.
He joins us for our Next Level segment, powered by Vodacom, to tell us about creating safer spaces for queer identities and navigating the entertainment space as a queer individual. Hey, Lelo, how are you?
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
to TrendingSA.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure.
Yay!
So Vogue Knights Jozi has become a pivotal subculture movement for queer and femme bodies to create and experience and navigate the entertainment domain as queer individuals. So what informed the decision to create the safe space for femme bodies and queer identities in the entertainment industry for it to safely work also?
I think a lot of the times queer individuals and trans individuals and femme identifying bodies as well have sort of just been left out of the conversation, been left out in the mainstream movement. And, I think it was time for me to just sort of like take the reins and like run with it.
Yeah.
And I've been running it for 3 years and it's been really beautiful.
So, I mean, obviously the conversation which you just brought up now about inclusion is something that queer artists are still grappling with in the entertainment industry and often have to exist on the periphery or create their own spaces. So how can we create opportunities and pivot that within the mainstream industry, even when the industry is still dragging its feet?
I think what we need to do is to enforce a lot more education, whether it be through any, multimedia type of things like Twitter or YouTube, TV, anything of that sort. I think that we really need to start being inclusive in that realm for people to really just join in on the conversation and plug themselves in and know what's happening. I think that
on your applications, all without worrying and using data. So just make sure to visit Vodacom's free browse career website and take your swag to the next level, because you shouldn't have to look for work and pay for it.
100%, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end it just for tonight. But don't forget, a royal mess we never knew we needed in our lives is happening tomorrow. And tomorrow, we're also going to bring the tea. I can't wait to unpack. I haven't seen it. Have you guys seen it?
I want to leave here. When is the show ending?
I can't believe it.
Literally in a few minutes.
Can you roll?
Also, I can't believe I'm not going to be here tomorrow. As the royalist of the show, why would you schedule me out? I don't understand. I want to sue everybody.
Season 5 of that show that we love is going to shake.
I'm
shake.
And we've already been seeing clips of what we might see tonight.
I think that's what's killing me, is the fact that I'm seeing all these snippets and I can't put the entire story together and hear the conversation.
I can't deal with how Harry isn't talking to his father. That's what I want to hear more.
Oh, because you thought Charles was a good guy.
No, I didn't. Obviously, I knew, but I mean, that's deep. He's not talking to him. Because he's racist.
Guys, there's so much to unpack.
Remember, guys, you can win big with Vodacom. We are giving away smartphones and data. Head on to our social media and join the movement. Good night, South Africa.
Happy birthday for tomorrow. Woo!